Finally, I've watched all 3 seasons of Umamusume, 2 movies, and the spin-off. Now I can finally try out this game. Let's see what the hype is about. Alright, I'm finally done with the tutorial, so I can actually start doing some pulls. Let's go. Oh my god! It's Tokai Teo! Let's go! Oh my god, another one! Damn, I don't even think I've seen her in the anime, but he looks cool. Here we go. If she doesn't win with certain victory. Alright, it's my first race. Let's go. Come on, come on. Easy. Alright, well that was an experience for sure. So I really wanted to watch all of the anime content before trying the game, so I could get a better understanding of each of the characters, and boy was it one hell of a ride. So, what's Umamusume about? It covers famous racehorses from history reincarnated into anime girls. I mean, you gotta admit, that's a pretty good way of getting people into horse racing, right? They're basically just regular girls, but they have horse ears, tails, and wear horseshoes. Oh, and unsurprisingly, they love carrots. It's an anime with comedy, emotion, and action. Let's get straight into it. We start the series off with Special Week, the character whom I'd say is the most definitive MC of the series. She's the classic anime girl that's clumsy, enthusiastic, and charming. Her goal is to become the best horse girl in Japan, to keep a promise with her mum, and we spend this season watching her journey towards it. What makes this season great though is her rival, Silent Suzuka. She really puts her first name to use, as she's a silent but deadly threat that absolutely dominates anyone in her path. It's a satisfying progression to see Special Week going from idolizing her to becoming her rival, and the accident gives us a preview to how heartbreaking injuries can be, and the effect of them on not just the runner, but the people around them as well. One thing I did notice though, was it's quite different from what I'm used to with sports anime. They're usually quite informative on the strategies to win, but this anime seems to focus more on the characters' motivations, then the story kind of just decides who wins. Special Week didn't really lose that much unless she was distracted, which is fair enough, they can do it their own way, and that's one way it's unique. On that topic, how crazy of an idea is it that the winner performs a victory live concert? Like you win, and then you're like a K-pop star. That honestly might be one of the best ways to celebrate a win. In Season 2, we shift focus to 2 absolute powerhouses, Tokai Teo and Mejuruma Queen. Watching them go head to head with top level racing was satisfying to say the least. But not only the action, the emotion was top tier, with Teo's constant setbacks. She basically went to hell and back, on repeat. Mejura also had a crazy story, as she fought to maintain the honor of her legacy and did one hell of a job. Also, we get to see how each generation inspires the next. Teo was inspired by Rudolph, and Teo and McQueen each had their own fans who were inspired to become great horse girls just like them. Some people might have been expecting more from Special Week, but I like the way each season has its own set of MCs. It gives more angles to the scene, and makes it much easier to cover a large cast of runners. Then we have the first movie, or well, it's basically an ONA series combined into a movie, but yeah, it focuses on 3 girls, Narita Top Road, and Maya Vega, and TM Opera O. They each have their own story and motivation, and you get to see each of them win. Honestly, I thought this was where we saw the scenes of TM Opera O aura farming, but turns out that was in the next movie, but we'll get to that later. Overall, it had all the aspects you'd want from Umamusume, but condensed into what's basically a short season. What more can you ask for at that point? Then, we get to Season 3. Now, remember those girls I mentioned earlier that got inspired by Teo and McQueen? Well, now they've become the MCs, as this season revolves around Kita-san Black and Satano Diamond. Each of them have their own unique stories, Kita-san being the pride of her town, always taking the time to help out her locals and building a warm relationship with them. It's like a festival when she's around. She also has a stronger body than most and takes good use of it by doing more intense training. On the other hand, Diamond is battling a jinx that came about since everyone in her family that tried before to win a G1 race all came just short of doing so, and she wants to be the first one to break it. Will she do it? You'll have to watch to find out. Overall, it's another season that's full of action, comedy, and emotion. Finally, we get to the second movie, or the first actual movie, since the last was combined episodes, and it's completely different in terms of animation. Like, how did they turn something about anime horse girls into what looks like a battle shonen? Watching them accelerate makes you actually feel the speed like nothing before, They finally nailed high-speed motion in anime to the point of perfection. It really doesn't get better than this. We finally get to the aura farming I mentioned earlier with TM Opera O, and boy was it worth it. Not only do we get our standard Umamusume goodness, but with this crazy animation, everything becomes 10 times better. Jungle Pocket and Tachyon were the other 2 stars of the series with their own interesting backstories. Just overall, being this far into the series, it was so satisfying seeing everything so beautifully done. Last, but most certainly not least, we have the spin-off Cinderella Grey. At first I was expecting that to be one of the horse girls, but nope, it focuses on Oguri Cap. That made me wonder, what was the meaning behind the name Cinderella Grey then? And it looks like Cinderella relates to the underdog story of Oguri Cap, and the horse she was based on was famously grey, just like her hair. So this season starts off in the smaller regions that also have horse girls, but not as large of an audience. We also saw Oguri Cap earlier in the eating competition, and she's introduced pretty much straight away as eating an ungodly amount of food. She's also extremely flexible, despite initially having weak knees as a child, thanks to the regular massages from her mother. One thing I really enjoyed about the season is the focus on strategy, something I mentioned earlier lacking from the franchise. For someone that's an enjoyer of sports anime, I like to see the mechanics behind the success of the participants, and this season really satisfied me in that area. Especially with the recent announcement of Core 2 coming in October, it's one that will be on my watch list for sure. So, to answer the question of this video, is Umamusume worth the hype? Well, the anime certainly is. It's a great series with a perfect blend of comedy, action, and emotion. If you're looking for anime girls, high-speed racing, drama, and much more, look no further than Umamusume. Whether it's an emotional rollercoaster in Season 2 or a strategic masterpiece in a spin-off, Umamusume has it all. Now let me know in the comments, have you guys watched the series or played the game? Which season or horse girl is your favorite? If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more anime content, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. I post every week, and I'm always looking for more topics that you guys are looking to see. Thank you so much for watching, take care and peace.